So these are a pair of 40-something-year-old Sony Walkman headphones. MDR 006s if you're curious. I think I paid a bit too much for them, especially for the condition they're in, but it was the cheapest I could find at the time for this style of headphones. So that's what. So when, how, and why, I guess. I ordered these on eBay way back in July of 2023, which is longer ago than I expected. Procrastination is a bitch. When I received them, I tested them out and realized the connection for the audio jack wasn't working right. It would come out of one ear or the other, but it wouldn't come out of both unless I held the cable at a specific angle. I actually thought ahead and recorded a small example back then. I knew this was likely the reason they didn't go for an even higher price than what I initially paid, but I shrugged it off and proceeded to shelve the project for 8 months. I seriously forgot about these things until semi-recently. When I eventually dug them out, I took one of the ear cups apart and found that the existing cable was a simple solder job away from replacement. I went online to see if there were headphone replacement cables I could get that weren't too expensive. It turns out they sell cables for people that want to DIY their own pair of headphones. I didn't know that was a thing, but it sure is helpful for my cause. I ordered a cheap replacement off eBay once again and turned my attention to the ear pads. Every time you see these headphones portrayed in other media, they appear a vibrant orange. Mine were becoming a decayed, sweat-soaked brown color, and were literally falling apart. Disgusting! That obviously looked like shit, and I had to find replacements. Luckily, these things are popular enough that I was able to find newly manufactured ones from a seller on eBay. eBay really is the hero of this story today, huh? So after I got the parts in, I went over to the garage and began soldering the new cable in place. It took me a bit to figure out how the plastic shell came apart, since it had been a while, but I soon had access to the bare speaker driver. I did some continuity testing with the multimeter to ensure the wiring for left and right was correct. This simple pinout diagram I found for the 3.5mm jack helped clear that up real fast. From there, all I needed to do was desolder the old wires and solder in the new ones. Done. Let's do it again. Boom. Easy. So I'm happy to report that after doing all that, it works. Listened to some music on YouTube and did a quick left-right channel test, and it is working, and working properly. I didn't accidentally swap the cables around, which I'm happy about because I have been known to do that in the past with other things. But here's what I'm really excited about. It's just gonna set the look off perfectly. These old, crusty, 45-year-old ear pads. Like, yeah, this needed to happen. Because these are in good shape, you know, other than the ear pads and the broken cable, but we've got a new cable, and I like the brown texture of it too. It fits with the retro aesthetic. The plastics are like clean, and you know, the only scuffed up parts are parts that I accidentally scuffed up when trying to get these caps loose. But once I did, it was a very easy process. I'm actually surprised at how smoothly that went. I'm gonna see if I can't finagle these cups on here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at these. They look super cool. Not sponsored or anything, but shout out to Retrospect on eBay. These new pads look great. They fit perfect, and they even came with this badass looking sticker of a cassette. That's sick as hell. Is this a sticker? That's awesome. This was a smoother experience than I was expecting. Usually something goes horribly wrong during these kinds of projects, whether I order the wrong part. It definitely fits, but it does feel a tad loose. Unfortunately. Or more likely end up breaking something. Oh shit. It was a breath of fresh air to have something go right for once. So that brings us to why. Well, I had an old Walkman kicking around already. So these would have gone great with that, even though it had issues, and I further broke it by trying to fix it, causing me to order not one, but two different ones, where that newer one's still not working quite right either. I'm still a little salty, alright? There's probably a future video in there somewhere. Anyway, long story short, I dig the aesthetic and the build quality of these. Lightweight over-ear headphones that aren't cheap plasticky pieces of garbage are pretty rare these days, and I wanted something that I could use regularly without feeling worried about damage. The solid metal headband makes this thing feel a lot more premium. Not to mention the bright orange ear pads make this thing absolutely pop. I love it. What about sound quality though? You might think that some 40-year-old headphones that were pack-ins for portable cassette players of all things would sound god-awful, right? I've been taking walks with these regularly, and I find that these sound just as good, if not even better, than the Apple EarPods that they still sell with the headphone jack. One small thing to note about these Walkman headphones though is that the impedance of their drivers is a bit higher than the average pair of headphones you'd find. What that means is that the volume level on your phone, or in my case, an iPod, has to be turned up louder than it otherwise would. Some devices with weak outputs might pose a problem, but everything I've tried with them worked just fine. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to start uploading more regularly again. I've got a bigger project for the channel that I'm also working on right now, but I wanted to put something out that was a little bit smaller to get into the groove and get a feel for this kind of stuff again. I haven't been regular on here since I was a kid, uploading garbage tier gaming content like 6 to 8 years ago. So I look forward to giving this a legitimate shot with better equipment and a sense of direction. Alright, see ya. After the parts arrived, I headed over to the garage to begin soldering the new God damn, that is headed over to I sound like fucking Crazy Frog. Holy shit. After the parts arrived, I headed over to the garage. It took me a bit to figure out how to where that newer one's not working God damn it. Okay,